You can go ahead, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. All right. I'd like to call this meeting to order. What is today? April 7th, 2021, meeting of the Board of Health. Present right now is Christine Stewart, member, Delshon Flip, health agent, Kathy, our administrative assistant, and Chris Macera from Republic. And apparently my daughter skirting around in the background. Okay, first thing on the agenda is signatures, which has been taken care of. Next is residential curbside recycling and trash collection contract. We have Chris Macera from Republic to explain what's going on with that. Chris?
Yeah, good evening, everybody. You guys can hear me, right?
Yes.
Good. How's everybody? Yeah, thanks for letting me jump on. I've obviously submitted a proposal to the town. I assume probably everybody's had a chance to review it at this point in time, so I can kind of walk through it briefly and then certainly field any questions that the board may have. So what Republic Services, first off, we want to thank the town and you folks for allowing us to service the town for as many years as we have, and we certainly look forward to our continued participation in the town. So what we've done is we've proposed what we feel as though is a pretty nice option for the town, and our focus was really to kind of level fund our year one. And what I mean by that is offer the town a really no price change for next year, so fiscal year 2022, beginning this July, which would stretch out from July 1st through June 30th of next year. And then the following 2 years, we could do a 2-year extension with a cost of living adjustment. So the service level would remain the same, and as we're currently providing. There's a couple other things in there. I think we've also added in terms of some price on some roll-off hauls and such as well. So predominantly the service doesn't change. However, the pricing, we're passing on a pretty favorable benefit to the town with no rate adjustment.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very good. Delshon, do you have anything to add, since you've been in the middle of all these negotiations with that?
Yeah, so I want to first start off that we had all intentions in the world of going out to bid. We did several interviews. Republic was one of the interviews that we did. I did it with Todd Cope from the state, and he was very helpful and informative. There was like 3 other people that reached out to us: Boston Karting, and Republic Waste Management. And there was one other one, and I'm sorry, at the top of my head, I don't remember. Actually, I will be able to remember if you just give me a second. So we had several interviews, and then going back and forth with a few of them, they all stated really like bad timing to get a contract pulled together in time and then put somebody new out on the streets was a lot of work, would be a lot of work on their end. A lot of people felt that they would potentially be set themselves up for failure. Also, this office would be set up for failure. We're still in the middle of a pandemic. The office has been crazy. In a perfect world, no pandemic, we would have had a lot of time. We would have started this process back in September. And we didn't have the time. We don't have the manpower either in the Board of Health office to give a new company a chance to succeed in Rockland. We feared the calls would increase and everything else. So we spoke with Chris. Republic offered us a great opportunity with a 0 increase for fiscal year 22. And then again, like he said, cost of living 3.5%. Poor timing also, getting a new contract in place and figuring out the rates and everything else. Our trash fees increased, not because of a contractual thing with Republic, but a budgetarial problem that had been going on for years. The bills don't get paid. People go to lien. We don't get that money. So it has to come from somewhere. And we were constantly drawing on the general fund. So spoke with Biz, and we all know this. We went through this with the meeting with Doug and Biz, and they explained the whole thing. I just wanted to put that little bit out there again, stating that our trash fees increase is not because of Republic contract. I think that right now it's in the best interest for the town, so we can continue to, and we're going out to bid for sure, but not at this time. It just, unfortunately, I know it's not what the taxpayers want to hear, but it is the best interest, and we have the best interest in the town. And I believe Republic has that same interest too. Big Brother's watching. Republic is able to communicate what they see on the streets in real time to this office. So that's beneficial. And I like the relationship with that I have with Republic. And I help hold them accountable all the time for everything. And Chris knows that. So, yes, so that's where we're at. I didn't get a real sense of reassurance with the other 3 people that looked into it. Capital was one of them, Boston Carting, and Waste Management and Republic.
I could add a couple more comments if you'd allow.
I would love
Sure.
it.
So, yeah, a couple of things too, also to think about or consider, I think, as we kind of roll through 2020 being, a pandemic and COVID, and we're probably all tired of hearing that word by now, but it's a reality. One of the things we saw as Waste Hauling Company, not only in Rockland, but predominantly in the other, say, 35 plus communities we service in the Commonwealth, and as much so in the other 2,500 we've seen around the country, we saw significant volume increases at the curb as well. So, in terms of Rockland, one of the things we've taken a position on that maybe some other folks have not is we've kind of factored in that, with added volume, there's added expense. There's no 2 ways about it. It takes more effort and time and resources for us to collect the solid waste and recycling. So, we've also factored that in, taking the position not to raise the rate for next year, considering that increased volume. So I think that may lend to some benefit to the town, because as you start to run your base numbers off 2020 volume, I do have a sense that volume will, somewhat normalize, albeit it may not hit down below pre-pandemic levels. And that's just because a lot of the changes we've seen from COVID are more structural. They're gonna last. For example, we're all working from home doing this rather than being in person, so that generates more volume at home. So we're kind of we factored that in, and we're passing that benefit onto the town of not adding or any more expense in terms of resources. The other good positive thing where the town should begin to see some relief as we roll through 2021, and then it's a fiscal next year, is we're seeing a favorable position on commodity markets in terms of recycling. So, a couple of years ago, we saw, the recycling markets crash, and we saw tipping fees on single stream volume exceed $100 a ton. We're now seeing that come down to a better level. We're starting to see in the $70. It was going each month, it was 90s, 80s, and we're now in the 70s. And, I'll be optimistic and say by the time this contract starts, maybe we'll be in the 60s. So that's a huge, huge shift from where we were even, say 12, 18 months ago in terms of that cost. So the town's going to be obviously a benefit of that on that per ton single stream number. So that should add some relief also for you guys as well.
And Chris, is Republic going to add in the recycling center?
I've proposed the haul and disposal numbers, yes, for you guys, yeah, which
Okay.
I believe are also better than what you're currently paying, I think. So yeah, good point. You should see a little expense saving from that as well.
Yeah, that was one of the things we noticed.
Yeah.
There will be some cost savings there. Thank you.
Yeah, they will. So,
I know that.
I'm sorry. So I think when you look at Rockland in terms of the full year and you check off these boxes of benefits that I've just said, the town's overall expense in terms of solid waste recycling likely will be less because of those functions. So not a lot of municipalities can say that right now. So it's probably a good thing.
Okay. Very good, Chris. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Chris.
Chris, do you have Christine? Do you have anything? Any questions?
No, I don't have any questions. Thank you.
I would like to reiterate one thing.
Mhm.
I hate pandering to social media, but I want to get it out there. Yes, bids were not officially put out on this, but there were interviews with a total of 4 companies that Delshawn did mention. And with the exception of Republic, because they are already set up in town, the other 3 companies did not feel they were going to be able to service us properly. And would not submit a bid if bids were put out. So, really on the advice of town council and discussions, it was decided that, there's no sense in incurring the cost of put out bids and wasting time when we can, move forward and, with the, especially with the 0 increase for year 1, a minimal COLA for the following years, which, nobody likes an increase, but, costs go up, unfortunately. You had to expect that. So minimal increases, but with also some cost savings with the recycling center, the roll-offs that were mentioned, and having the established drivers in town, love them or hate them. They are doing a fantastic job. And as Delshawn said, she's in constant communication with them throughout the day. That's really all I have. Now, did town council, Delshawn, have anything in particular they wanted to bring up on this? I know the contract was brought towards town council.
Yes, it was. Yep.
Okay.
They thought it was a great deal as well. So, yeah. Yeah.
All right, great. All right, any other discussion on the recycling and trash collection contract? Sorry, I had a brain fart for a second. Okay. Christine, anything?
No, I don't have any more questions. Thank you.
Delshawn, you're good. Chris, you have nothing more to add?
I don't, unless anyone has any questions for me, I'd be glad to answer.
All right.
We just need to finalize it, get town council's last bits. I know that Chris was sending amendments to that,
Right.
I'm sending it to them. They're aware. The other day I had multiple questions that I had asked Chris about. Sorry, I cleaned my desk and I don't know where I put everything.
We did get the draft copy from town council. We're reviewing it, but we don't see any, big structural changes. I mean, it looks fairly standard, that it'll work.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just had a few questions that I wanted to bring up on the contract. I sent with my questions some of the things that I felt that needed to be changed, adding in Veterans Day as a holiday.
Right. That's something we started a few years ago,
Yes.
unofficially.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what other questions that I had. I just think those were like the basic questions that I had as far as making sure that the recycling center is part of this contract. When Republic first came aboard back in 2016, let's talk about that. Christmas era. Do you know when Rockland was looking for you to service Rockland? Was that done with an RFP? Was that done out to bid?
Yeah, the way, I wasn't around in this role, but the way it began was it was an emergency procurement. I believe the contractor that the town hired actually went financially insolvent and basically went out of, either they went out of business or they couldn't meet bond requirements. There was some sort of financial issue where they couldn't complete the contract midterm. The town reached out to us, I think, and some other folks as well. We were able to kind of step in and jump in and really begin servicing the town without a beat. We really had to kind of gear up and help the town out in a real time of need back in 2000, that might have been 15. What we did is we did a very short-term contract for a few months, and then the town put the whole thing out for an RFP, and then we were successful again through the RFP process. Yes.
Okay. So I just wanted to make sure that was out there.
It was, yeah.
Yep. I know that the hauling has changed dramatically since 2016. I mean, dramatically. Everybody just put their stuff out curbside and you picked it up. And then you did that for a couple years. And then we got the automated. Rockland seems to always be a little bit behind times. And now everybody's going automated service. Do you feel that is?
I do. I think the days of years ago of us putting, folks on the back of a truck and picking up trash manually, those are fading away. And when we can automate a system and partner with a town to do that, we try to do that. It's a lot of benefits to it in terms of efficiency, safety. Think about the aesthetics of the community. So you travel to Rockland, this cart's out, it's neat, there's not stuff blowing around. So it's the right way to do it. You guys are doing it correctly. It's definitely the way to go. To your point, the industry has evolved a lot over the last, number of years. It's been, and not to, take too much time here, but because I could write a book sometimes with this, but, if you think about even the last 3 years, we've had two major, really major global events that have shifted this industry. We first had a commodity collapse with China closing its door to all inbound US single stream volume, and that disrupted the market, disrupted collection, strained municipal city town budgets across the country. It was pretty trying time. And then, here we go in 2020, and we've got a world pandemic that, created a lot of different stuff in terms of volume changes, in terms of consumptive behavior, as we saw commodity mixes change. Companies like ourselves, or should have been like ourselves, had a lot going on behind the scenes to keep that essential service going in communities like Rockland, whether it was how we were providing PPE, sanitizing our facilities, we're changing our dispatching. We're a company of 36,000 employees, predominantly 30,000 a frontline, but we've got 6,000. We removed remote overnight within 72 hours. So we've done a lot. One thing we're really proud about is, we operate in 41 states. We never, through the pandemic, had to close a facility. We've never had to shut down an operation because of COVID. It was, pretty impressive of what we did. And we did a lot for our employees through 2020 as well. We enhanced our giving program to our employees. We gave them additional pay for a couple of months towards the third quarter of last year. And we gave them that money, that extra money. And we said, hey guys, we appreciate and girls appreciate the work you're doing frontline for us and our customers. We want you to get that money though. And we want you to go spend it back in the communities you live and we service, the communities like Rockland, and maybe even take it one step further, service and spend it on customers that are ours, the local restaurant and local markets. So something we're real proud about. We had a lot of stuff like that going on through 2020 through current. So a lot has changed in this industry. It really has. And as our company, we've obviously, weathered through those changes and have been flexible enough to pivot and shift and do what we had to do. Some frankly did not. Some companies have unfortunately had to get out of this business because they couldn't handle those two major events. So, hopefully that certainly lends some comfort to you folks and the residents of the town that, we're a company around for the long haul. We've been servicing the town for many years, and we certainly look forward to doing it for many, many to come as well.
Okay, thank you. All right, if there's anything else, why don't we bring this up to vote? Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Okay. And
We need to be clear on the motion.
yeah, Chris, can you clarify the motion?
Sure. Just, well, I'm not sure exactly how I need to say this, but a motion to continue the contract with Republic
Um,
for the fiscal year 2021, 22.
okay. Would it be more of accept the presented Republic contract under the advice of town council?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, it's technically not. It's not an extension
I'm
of the
new at
current
this. Can you
contract.
tell?
That's fine. It's
We're not
Like-
extending the contract.
yeah. We're not extending the contract. This is a new contract. It's not an extension. It's a new contract with some new changes that will be more beneficial for the town. So okay, so we have a motion to.
So to approve the contract based on the advice of from
No.
town council.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. We have a motion. We have a second. Myself, Steve is absent tonight.
Mm.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, then the motion has passed.
Okay.
Very good.
Thank you so much, Chris, for
Right.
coming on and
Chris,
explaining.
thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you guys, members of the board, Delshon, and certainly the residents of Rockland. We appreciate it. Thank you, and we look forward to servicing the community for a number of years. So appreciate it. I can drop off if you guys are all set with me, and I'll let you guys get back to your other business.
Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Have a great
Chris.
night.
Thank you, guys.
Flash Delshon.
Oh, yeah. Can you see that? I didn't know if you could see me.
You're right. You're right. The whole world can see you, Delshon. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so the next item on the agenda is the Rockland Recycling Center vouchers. Delshon?
Yes. So obviously our office just not been inundated with COVID, but since March, calls are steady and they want their vouchers and that they should have. I think that this needs to be given out again. our office is quite busy. I would ask that if you guys approve the voucher program, it is $25 per unit. We did not have time to discuss and figure out the budget to increase that voucher. Going forward next year, I'm hoping that we're in a more better situation that we can possibly increase the voucher per unit. But right now, we just don't have the time to go through all the money that we have in the revolving account. At a quick glance, I can say that our revolving account can sustain the $25 voucher per unit. Again, I ask that if you guys do approve it, that in the beginning stages, for the month that you decide that they start, I ask that we're only to give them out at late nights after 4:30 every first and third Tuesday of the month. That's when the office is the quietest, and it's at night. People are home, so it would be it's not an inconvenience. Instead of coming during the day, you just come at night, just so that when the town hall people come in and come to the door, we could potentially be discussing sensitive information regarding a positive case or something. The sound travels very fast and far in this office. And you know, from being in here, you can hear me from the tax collector's office. So that's just one thing that I ask.
No, I think the first and third Tuesday, I think, when town hall is open for the late nights for selectmen's meeting, I think, that I don't see anything wrong with it. I think it works.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's a little bit slower than during the day when other people are coming in doing their other business throughout town. So when do you think your office will be able to start?
Let's see here. We're in April right now. We'll start the motions. I'll start getting everything ready, all the vouchers ready. We have a great system now where we just do it in a mail merge. So we use a different color paper. I got to remember what color paper we used last year. Order the paper, get the spreadsheet ready with all the new homeowner changes or whatever. I would ask that.
Okay, so the first date that comes up is the 20th of this month, which is kind of quick.
Yeah, no.
Or we could go with May 4th.
Perfect.
May 4th?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll go with May. Okay, so we'll go with May 4th.
And I just want to reiterate, people cannot use this voucher to pay for their sticker. Okay, I had to put that disclaimer out there. That's a good clarification. Okay, the voucher cannot be used to pay for their sticker.
It's mainly for the bulk items, etc.
Exactly.
And when they get the voucher, they also get the menu with the cost for.
Yep. They get the price list of all the costs.
PCs or mattresses or this, that, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Does it say on the, will it say on the paper that you send out that they cannot use the voucher to pay for the sticker?
I will put that on the
Put that
voucher.
on there somewhere, just so that,
Yep.
It's in writing
Mm-hmm.
to people.
Absolutely.
So they don't have any, there's no
idea.
question.
Good idea,
Yeah.
Christine.
Just
Yep,
add that in somewhere.
I will.
Mhm.
So May 4th is the first Tuesday night we're open in May.
Okay,
So they would be able to come on the the 4th, the 18th, the 1st, and the 15th. And then in July, I think we would be in a good spot where they could come to the door. And
Hopefully by then things will calm down even more,
exactly.
especially as all the vaccines are getting out,
Yep.
and such. All the contact tracings and stuff should hopefully slow down some. Hopefully there's no big surge with schools and such, but
Yeah. And
Wait,
then by
wait.
that time, and then it's the summer, and yeah, I'd feel
Well,
more comfortable. But I know that people are calling and wanting it, and I think that they
Sure.
should get it. I think this is a,
well, they've been home doing spring cleaning and whatnot.
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, all right, great. So, I believe we do need a vote on this. So, entertain a motion for that.
Okay, so a motion to, now we're not voting on the actual voucher at this point, because we're going to do the voucher.
Yeah. So the
So we're just
motioning to accept the voucher.
motion to accept the voucher program. Okay,
And
so a motion to
$25
accept
for
the voucher program, and to be able to pick up the vouchers on at least through May and June for the first Tuesday and the third Tuesday of the month, and then opening it up in July to the regular times.
Right.
Yes?
Okay. All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second? Sure.
Second.
We have a second.
Third.
Oh,
How many do we
small
need?
board, no. All right, we have a motion. We have a second. All are in favor. So that has passed. Excellent. That'll make some people happy.
Probably not.
Well,
Some,
Yeah,
we'll
but-
make some people
we'll make
happy.
some people happy. I'm sure somebody's going to be happy.
We'll never make all people happy.
That's true. That's true.
All right. Let's see here. Other
We can
business.
try.
I have nothing else that needs to be brought up. Anything updated on the COVID-19 update? There we go. Or vaccine.
So right now, the town of Rockland has 77 positive cases, and that's from March 22nd to today. We don't, there's really, it depends on the week. Some weeks, some days we're getting like 9, some days we're getting 7. Today we got 2. But so it's starting to trickle down. But again, I want to reiterate. I'm not even going to say the word because I won't even.
Reiterate.
Yeah. See, I have a problem. Yeah, that word.
That word, yeah.
So, what was I reiterating?
Okay, well, ask this. Is there any like common denominator? Any
No, there isn't. No, there is nothing. No,
no tournaments, no parties, nothing like that. That's
nothing like that. No,
So
it's
it's
just
just-
people's guards down, and they're
Sure.
thinking everybody else around them is vaccinated, and that's what we still have to pretend that no, there is no vaccination.
Sure. People are getting they're getting tired.
Yeah, yeah, they're getting antsy to get out there and be more normal. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Weather's
Yes.
getting a little bit nicer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay. Very good.
So, and
So
then-
how is that, the 77 cases, Deli, how is that in compared to, say, January, February? How much of a decline is that?
oh my God, hundreds.
It's a
Oh,
huge
yeah.
decline. So
Yes,
we're
back
seeing-
in January, we were getting 30 cases a day.
Yeah,
It was nonstop from like October to January, even February, it started to pick up. People went away on vacation, sporting events.
right.
So,
Well, the holiday, I think there was a big, especially after Christmas. Yeah,
yes,
the
yeah,
big, that was the biggie.
so many things. Yes,
And the new year.
yeah.
So,
And I continue to go on the state calls every Tuesday and Friday. There's still a lot of Zoom meetings and seminars and webinars and whatnot. Good thing about, I just received something from MHAB with classes that are coming up. So I'm doing virtual classes on camps. And so that's, I'm looking forward to something other than COVID. So there's a camp seminar that I'm doing coming up in April. And I'm looking forward to something different.
Okay.
Vaccines. Oh, so Chief Duffy and I, the state authorized us to be able to vaccinate the Rockland Housing Authority.
I was just going to ask about that. How's that
Yes.
going?
Oh my God, that was so awesome. That was the best. We were able to vaccinate 30 people over at Studley Court and also 30 people over at Garden Terrace. The state had sent us 100 doses and stated, if you don't use them all, we want them back. So Monday after the clinic, after the last clinic on Friday, we went, the state called and asked how it went, how many vaccines we needed, and they wanted it back. So I said, hey, if we can find 40 people to vaccinate, can we keep it? And they said, yes, but only people that fit that phase of vaccinations.
Phase 2.
Yeah. So we had to so we reached out to town hall employees. We reached out to the school department, and the 40 doses were taken in 15 minutes.
Good.
Excellent.
Yes.
That's excellent.
And
Yeah,
it was
good.
mainly from the school department, which I was thrilled to be able to help. One of the cafeteria workers, lots of the teachers that struggle to get vaccinated. So we were able to do that last Thursday, and that was very successful. That's that. So
Okay. Do we have a second date set up for them to come to do the second vaccine?
yes.
Okay.
Yep. So for Studley Court, I think it's the 22nd. For Garden Terrace, I think it's the 23rd of April. And then the extra 40 doses is the 29th.
Okay.
And so the clinic for the extra 40 doses we held over at the middle school. The school let us use the EDS site. So we went, and it was great because it was already social distance. We put the people, they all had appointments 15 minutes apart. They were watched. It went very fluidly.
Good.
And it was a good experience.
Good. Okay.
All right. Excellent. Thank you.
Deli, any idea of how many people, like in Studley Court and Garden Terrace, did not get the vaccine, or any idea how many total, or what the percentages of total people that have been vaccinated?
There was probably, I would say, like 10 people that were already vaccinated.
Okay.
There was probably a handful that didn't want it.
Okay. Okay. And they run about how many people? You know,
Like 50. I
about
actually
50
have
people who live there.
in each one. Yeah.
Okay.
And then we had to, we vaccinated the staff and the volunteers of Rockland Housing Authority.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Yeah. With the extras that we did have.
All right. That's excellent.
I am just going to, if you want the exact figures, I can get
No,
them.
I don't need the exact. I was just
Yeah,
curious.
I think it's like 50 to 60 in each of them.
Yeah.
I was just curious in terms
Yeah.
of, you know,
Give or
how many
take.
people
Mhm.
really still needed it and how many wanted it versus how many wanted it and how many, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Homebound. We have
Yeah,
been,
that was my next question.
yep. So the state reached out to me and said, do you want the state to do your homebound or do you want to do the homebound? And Chief Duffy and I didn't even hesitate. We were like, we're doing it, which is great. So we filed for that. Those doses have been sent to Abington. And we just have to pick them up there and figure out a date that we're going to do it. We're going to call once Scott Duffy and Chief Duffy and I get together and figure out the total amount that we have. So we've requested 50. With that 50, we can do homebound and people that live with that person. And it is
Okay.
the J&J vaccine. So what will happen is I will give Chief Duffy the list of the homebound residents. He will populate it in a route and see how he's going to do it. So his crew will do it. They will either go in an ambulance or they've got extra cars that they'll use and they'll go out and vaccinate. It could take 3 days to do all the inbounds. Or it could take 1 day. We don't have the exact numbers. Right now we have about 44 people on the list and we only have 50 vaccines.
Okay.
Excellent.
So if anybody out there in Rockland knows anybody that is a homebound resident, please call the Board of Health. And we will get them on the list.
Hopefully they hear it or the little bird hears it and gets that information to them. All right. Is there anything else that we need to discuss? Anything else not anticipated?
I just was wondering if we've heard anything about, have any nurses contacted us about the position for the public health nurse?
We recently had one person inquire about it, but nothing. It hasn't been pushed out again. We are going to. I spoke with Human Resources, and we are going to push that out again.
Okay.
But the information is still on the website. It's still there. It's still.
Oh, it's still posted.
It's still posted.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
We're just not. Nobody wants to deal with a pandemic.
I can't imagine why not.
Right?
Gee.
I know
Yeah.
it's hard.
Yeah. It's a lot.
Well,
It's a lot.
at least it's the tail end of it.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Exactly. Exactly.
Right.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
That's all I've got.
Okay. Yeah, I have nothing else. Delshon, you have nothing else?
I don't. I don't.
All right. Well, with that, I will entertain a motion to oh boy.
Yeah. See, it
Adjourn.
really.
Thank you. Wow. Sorry. Still have sand in my brain, I think.
Yeah. Sand.
All right. So a motion to adjourn?
Yes. 6:42.
Second.
Thank you folks
Second.
so much. I
Second.
appreciate it.